Good evening, everyone. Happy Friday, and welcome to our pre event special for our Women in Wellness Summit. Super excited to be joined with Kimberly tonight. Kimberly, say hi to the people. All
Hi.
right. Yes, yes. So super excited to have you here, Kimberly. Before we dive in, just want to say that we are 57 days away from the summit. It seems like such like so far away, but it's like really right around the corner. So please, 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 if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please make sure you get your tickets. Also, just kind of wanting to talk a little bit more about the summit. So, this is really a day dedicated to you. Us joining in community, celebrating each other, celebrating our steps, the steps that we've taken along our wellness journey, and the intentional steps that we'll continue to take along our wellness journey. So, really, what I like to say, it's dedicated to celebration, empowerment, and community. So, please, please, please make sure you're there. You do not want to miss this day. So, without further ado, we'll jump into the conversation. So, Kimberly will be joining us as our host for the Women in Wellness Summit, and Kimberly is phenomenal. So that's just what I want to start with. But besides what I'm saying, I want you to start and just share who is Kimberly.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to the platform, inviting me to the event, and being a part of the event. I am so honored because everything that you put your hand on, it is done right. So I'm really honored to be a part of it. But I'm Kimberly Sumter. I am a podcast educator. I think I can call myself that now. So I have a background in radio broadcasting, but it morphed into podcasting back in 2019. So I found that as it is actually my passion. It is something that I love to do, the teaching portion of it, and then also sharing my voice. So I am the founder of Podcast to Inspire, also the host of the Sisters Connect podcast. And I teach women and entrepreneurs who want to share their voices in positive ways how to podcast. So that's what I do. And then also, you know me from an organization, nonprofit that I work for, Rising Tide Capital, who centers, around entrepreneurs and getting entrepreneurs to be able to build and scale their businesses. So that's it.
Nice, nice. Sounds good. Sounds good. And I know you're going to bring a lot of that podcasting energy to the summit as well too. So excited to be in space and community with you, and having you as our host, which is such a vital part of our Women in Wellness Summit. So kind of moving forward with the theme of the summit, it's intentional living. So really just want to hear from you. What does intentional living mean to you, and how does it resonate with you right now in the season that you're in?
Oh boy. First of all, this is definitely the season. You know, the funny thing going into the new year, because at the end of 2023, I knew that one thing that I wanted to do was to focus on self. And I think for me, intentional living is self-awareness, right? So every part of what you do, every thought that you have, everything, every person that you're with, every conversation that you have, all of those things are intentional, or at least they should be.
Yeah.
And I think for myself last year, I believe that I didn't understand that intentionality was so important until some things started happening to me physically.
Mhm.
So sometimes the warning sign is that you have to be intentional about something is when something is going wrong. So
Mm,
we're going through our everyday lives, getting up, going to work, not eating, not exercising, not doing all the things. And it's because it's the routine.
yeah.
But what made me become intentional about those things and thinking about those things was when I started to feel not good
Hmm.
physically last year. So that led into me wanting to make sure that in 2024, I was really honest with myself. I was self aware. I was thinking about all the things, and I was doing self checks throughout the day to make sure I'm good. And
Yeah.
then also recognizing the things that kind of made me not feel great,
Yeah.
in the moment, and checking those things. So for me, that's the intentionality of it all. That's why it's so important. And I think, again, the health issue for me was the thing that really kind of pushed me there faster.
Yeah.
Um, than it probably would have. But I'm glad. I'm well. I'm
Yeah.
fine. I'm doing well. But I'm glad that it really kind of sparked that for me.
Sounds good. And we're glad to hear that you're well. And, I think a couple of things resonated with me of what you said. So, for one, just saying that you knew that this year was going to be a year that you were centering yourself. And that's something that I truly resonate with for me. And that's a focus for me as well, too. So, I think this theme also resonates with me, but also just pointing to that piece of self awareness. Like, that's so key. Like you said, your every conversation, every step you take, everything is has to or should be intentional, and we should strive for that essentially. Then something you also mentioned about that, the warning signs, sometimes with those warning signs, I was thinking that it's all about perspective sometimes, right? Because we can look at it like, oh my gosh, like everything's going wrong, but like seeing it as an opportunity maybe for transformation or opportunity of this is how I can be a little bit more intentional, I think is so powerful. So thank you for sharing that. And I think when we start to be more intentional, we can be more proactive, right, in taking care of the things that that really relate to our health and wellness and other areas of our lives as well too. So
Right.
thank you so much for sharing that. And now I want to know, you are hosting our third annual Women in Wellness Summit. So what sparked your interest in being a part of our summit?
What sparked my interest, number one, is that you're all over it and it's your event. That was number
Yes.
one. And I know that again, just from following you and seeing all the things that you do, that you have excellence. There's excellence attached to your name. So that was part of it. The other part was again, because of the topic, because of the intentionality, I thought this was perfect.
Yeah.
This is perfect. And the funny thing is I was thinking last year, a lot of the things that I've been doing have been really centered around business. So I've been, doing some events, going in spaces where I'm participating, but I also wanted to make sure that I balanced it with also being on the receiving end to getting the information that I need to nurture me and to edify me.
Hmm.
And I feel that this particular event is that because of all the amazing women that you have on the panel. Um, that to me was the biggest draw for me because you have a diverse group of women. We're all women of color, but there's so much diversity in the women that you've chosen, from the vocation, from probably their perspectives and all of those things. And I'm familiar with some of them. So that was really the big draw for me for wanting to be a part of this particular event. Um, you know, it's just going to be wonderful and I can't wait.
Well, thank you, thank you, and I received what you said initially in the beginning. I think you and Tawanda have been, cutting those onions, but but yeah, that's an incredible, and like you said, the diversity that's kind of been a theme that's been coming up, kind of like representation, and how that matters, and also just the diversity of the panel, and I think even just the diversity in everyone's perspective, and as you mentioned, kind of like their backgrounds, and I think with the summit, we really take that approach of looking at things from a holistic approach, right? So everything from emotional wellness to your environmental wellness, how you're taking up space and what environments and how those environments are pouring into your well-being, financial wellness and things of that sort. So thank you for pointing that out and sharing why you want to be a part of the summit. So next, I wanted to ask, kind of on a similar note, what are
Mhm.
you most excited about? So like I said, the host is a major part of the summit. So I'm thinking, what are you most excited about at the summit, or like what impact do you also want to make at the summit as well, too, in your role?
So I think I'm most excited about the networking opportunities. I know that you will probably have women at this summit from all different backgrounds, all different ages, and I really want to put myself in a space where I am surrounding myself with people, not just necessarily a targeted group of people, but I want to be surrounded by people who are in the same space that I'm in the same, mindset that I'm in. And also, people who can, maybe help me to get to my goal, right? So I think sometimes when you're able to collaborate, network, meet people, talk to people, that gives you an opportunity to be able to have some growth. And then I also love the fact that I'm able to be on a platform where I, will be visible. And people will get to know what I do and who I am. And I'm able to share my story as well. And they can see things from my perspective as well, with being able to have that platform to be able to speak on that. So, for those reasons, I think networking is a big thing, which is intentional, right? Not
Yeah.
just the going in, being in the room with the same people at the same time,
Yeah.
collecting business cards and moving on, but really having intentional, thought provoking conversations and really being thoughtful and intentional about those conversations and for the people that you're going to be talking to and connecting with. So that's what I'm really looking forward to in that space, as a host and also as someone who's going to be there in the spirit of participating as well.
I love that. I love that so much. And I was just thinking, as you've been speaking, like there's been so much intention, like, in every response, but also just kind of the way that you want to navigate your life in this upcoming year season, but also the event as well too. And I think that's so powerful. And that's something I've like been encouraging, our attendees, like take some time to think about, once you get your ticket, right? Take some time to think about what intentional living means to you, what it looks like for you in this year and beyond, right? And something that you said before too, like, having intentional conversations and making meaningful connections. I think sometimes you go to events and you like you said, give out your business cards and then
Mhm.
crickets for
Right.
forever, right? So it's just like being intentional about that and like, I was also going to say, kind of lost my train of thought, but just being intentional. And I think, thinking about the theme, it's funny. I don't know if this has been happening to you,
Mhm.
but one of our community members suggested the theme of intentional living. And I was like, this is perfect. But it's just like, since thinking about that theme or having this theme, it's just been like, I've been looking at things from that lens a lot more. And, it's just like, all right, I'm gonna do this, and it's like, is that intentional? Like, I'm really looking at things like that and questioning, certain things, practices, and behaviors. So it's really amazing how it resonates, and it's just kind of like, I hope that's the same, and other people, other attendees, or anyone who's thinking about coming to the summit feels that way as well too.
And I think being intentional at this point, right? It's really about making it a part of who you are, making it a part of your lifestyle.
Hmm.
So this particular event, in my opinion, and my thought is that, we will go there, we will go and get the things that we need. We'll have the conversation that we want to have, that we need to have with people, but we're leaving there wanting to implement that
Yeah.
very thing in our lives beyond that day. So
Yes.
I think the name of the event is perfect, because being intentional means that you have to practice this every single day,
Yeah, for
just
sure.
in the moment, at that time. But this
Yes.
is something that is, you have to do this each and every day. You have to think about this, and I'm pretty sure that everybody who's walking in that room, we're all in that same mindset that this
Yeah.
is what we want. We want to make some change in our lives, and we want to think about things and life a little bit differently in a more positive way. So.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that. That's really key. I think what you mentioned of like not just in the space, but also as we leave the space as well too. And I know sometimes like going to some events is kind of like, what now? Kind of, and that's okay, right? It's okay, but like it's kind of like you said, really I want to have like a particular focus on like once we leave that room too, making sure you feel equipped and also just supported as well too, to feel like you can go forth with practicing this every day. And even when you're going forward with it, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? But just kind of making that effort, as much as you can. So I really appreciate you sharing that. So finally, as we wrap up, this was such a great conversation. Just wanting to ask, what are some things that you have going on? I saw something coming up in April, so I definitely want to hear about that. I'm excited for that. So definitely want to hear some of the things that you have coming up, and then where can we connect with you?
Sure, for sure. So I am launching two cohorts actually for my podcasting to inspire course. The first is going to be a cohort that's going to be launching out in February. That group is already selected for that cohort. I'm super excited about that. You'll be seeing me share that out on social with these amazing women who are going to become storytellers and podcasters in the end after they finish. But then I also have an in-person podcasting intensive that will be in Union, New Jersey at the Boss Loft.
Okay.
And that is going to be a full day, really tailored for anyone who is in business, primarily women in business who want to try to figure out how they can leverage podcasting to build brand awareness. So
Mm,
that is what the course is going to be kind of more focused on. But of course, you are going to get all that you need to know about podcasting in that. So that's what's coming up. And of course, your amazing event. I'm super excited about that. It's the first event that I will be a part of, and maybe one of the only events, because I was being intentional last year when
yeah.
I was making my decision on the spaces that I wanted to be in, and being at your amazing, beautiful wellness event is one of those places. So that's that. But you can also reach out to me and connect with me on social. You can go to Podcast to Inspire on Instagram. It's a new page, everybody. So we're building up on there. And then also Sisters Connect as well. You can find me on Instagram on Sisters Connect. And if you just want to learn a little bit more about the course, or you want to ask me some questions, you want to thinking about being a podcaster and you just need some questions answered, feel free to reach out to me. You can log on to podcasttoinspire.com, and I'll be more than happy to share my knowledge with you.
That is so amazing, Kim. I'm like, sign me up. I cannot wait. And I know others who are listening are probably thinking the same thing too, or want to learn more as well too. So please make sure you connect with Kim. She is so amazing. And I'm looking forward to that podcast course. Y'all gonna see me with my own podcast coming soon. Being intentional, of course, right? Being
Yes.
intentional, of course, in the right timing. But I'm so excited about that and so grateful to have you a part of this summit, and that you intentionally thought of this being one of the spaces that you wanted to be in. So really, really, truly grateful for that. And just kind of as we wrap it up for the evening, just want to remind you all to get your tickets. This is an event that you do not want to miss. Also, if you can't make it, we also have the Giving the Gift of Intention. This is our sponsor, like sponsoring a ticket for another person, paying it forward to another person. So please reach out to us if you need any other information, but get your tickets and consider giving the gift of intention. So,
And I will say this, Sisters Connect will give a gift of intention, and so will Podcast to Inspire. So there'll be two tickets on behalf of my companies that I'll be giving away to two amazing women that you choose to come and attend that event.
wow, that's so powerful. Thank you so much, Kim.
You're welcome.
Really appreciate it. All right. So we'll talk soon. Take
All
care,
right.
everyone. Thank you again, Kim.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.